What's going on, guys? Joel and myself hanging out here at the shop.
What's up, peeps?
And so we want to show you a material that we're working here with at the shop. And I've had a few of you call me or ask me about what do we use for vibration damping material on cars here at the shop. So we have a product here from Design Engineering. It's called Boom Mat. So if you buy it, this is kind of what it looks like. It comes in a box like this. And this Boom Mat right here, this is a sheet that's a 12.5 by 24, but they also make a sheet that's 12.5 by 12, so it's basically half of this. And depending on which car you have, they also give you the measurements, the size of the sheets, and how many square footage they make, they'll cover rather. So if you're like me, you know, I like to cover almost every square inch of the car because it just makes me feel better. They don't recommend that. They actually just recommend a few sheets, you know, on behind the door, on the trunk, and stuff like that. But if you notice that, like I said, I like to cover as much as I can possibly cover, and Joel will show you. But so the other thing I wanted to show you is that along with this Boom Mat comes a material, and this is called floor tunnel shield. If you look really close, it's got these little holes that are punched in, and this is really a high-tech material. So this has like some kind of a fiber mat behind it, and it also has adhesive. But if you notice all these little bitty holes, they're punched in there for a reason. And from what I understand, and the tech sheet says that this material is capable of withstanding 1750 degrees Fahrenheit heat. So that's a lot. So these guys actually, when I contacted them about you know, the damping material, they also recommended that I put this in. If you notice, they only recommend this for the tunnel, the trans tunnel, and the firewall. So we just put it on the tunnel and the firewall because that's where most of the heat is going to come in from. And so that's one element that makes these people different from other materials. So they recommend this right here for the tunnel and the firewall. And then this material right here also comes in a 2mm and a 4mm. So the 4mm is a little bit thicker, depending on what you want. Once you put this down, and remember the surface on the car has to be really clean. Like for example, like on this car, it was blasted, it was sandblasted, and then we primed it with a direct metal primer. So it was really nice and smooth and clean. But if you don't have that, you just got to make sure you clean it really good and it's nice and smooth, and possibly with the wax and grease remover or some kind of alcohol solution. That way the mat will stick really good to it. Once you do that, they also make this material for afterwards. This goes on top of the Boom Mat, and this goes between the Boom Mat and the carpet. So you put the Boom Mat on. They also provide you with an adhesive. If you buy this product, they have an adhesive that you spray on the Boom Mat, and then you put this on top, and it adheres to the Boom Mat. And then your carpet also goes on top of that. So this is like really nice, stout, but really soft material. It's kind of like a barrier between the Boom Mat and the carpet. And then they also provide you, if you don't have it, with the little tools. And believe me, it doesn't take much. It just takes a roller, like kind of like this. And then I like to use a few other things, such as something like this, because it's got a really smooth edge like this, that you can, you know, get into crevices where normally your hands can't get into. But you know, you stick this in there and you just make sure that it's down on the surface. And then, you know, these are just regular little tools that you can pick up anywhere. But the main tool that you need is this right here. And I also use the back of it because, you know, the floors have all these indentions in there and different configurations. So I use this and I just press it down to get in those areas. And then you don't need any special scissors. Just anything simple will do. As you can see, I got a little piece of this other material, and although it's very stout, as you can see the edge, this is actually metal, right, Joel?
Mm-hmm.
Like an aluminum kind of thing, and it's very stout. So if you're not careful and you run your hand through it, it'll cut you. But it's also made to where it can be cut with not too much of an effort. So it's very stout, but like I said, you don't need any kind of special tools to lay it down. So I left a small area on the car to put down just to kind of show you how easy it is. So I'm gonna do that now, and you'll see that it doesn't really take that much to do. So I've done basically the whole car, and I left this one little area, and as you can see, it's got all these little grooves. Okay, the floor has got all these little grooves. You can see that one going that way, and these going this way, and then obviously you can see how the floor comes up. And this is one whole sheet. It hasn't been cut or anything like that. And I'm gonna lay this down so you can kind of see that you don't need anything special. You're obviously, you don't know how everything is gonna go until you start putting it on your car. So this also has a way. They also made it to where it doesn't matter how you put it on. Basically, but as you can see, the back of the sheets, they have this about 1/4 of an inch extra of the aluminum kind of backing on it, so you can overlap it. You overlap this on top of the other sheet. See, this side here is not as much. So what you do is you take it and you basically overlap the other part of it, and you can cut it. What you can do is, like in this instance right here, I'm going to put it on and see how it overlaps this just a tad. It overlaps that area there, and if you don't want it to do that, all you got to do is cut it off. See, I kind of want to make sure that I'm on the edge of this other one back here, so you gotta. It doesn't take that much to take it off. I'm gonna go ahead and take this backing off because it's really getting in my way more than anything. So you make sure that you have a straight, so that's laying down on top of the other. You make sure that you cover all the way up to the edge, which in this case I need a little more. And then you just kind of start laying it down. Let me get my little tool. And you just roll it. And see this area right here that I was talking about, this one area there. What I'll do is I'll take the back of it and I'll press it down and see how nice it goes up on there, and then just make sure that the rest of it is down. And don't worry about this excess because we'll take our knife and cut it right there. You can actually leave it if you wanted to. And see, we got all these little grooves in here, so we're gonna lay it down. We're gonna use the back of this thing, of this little tool, to make sure that we get all the little grooves in there. And it takes a little time, so it's not like a cut and dry, kind of thing, especially if you want to be meticulous about it and you want to make sure that you overlap everything really nice. So it takes a little bit of creativity and some cutting and stuff like that, depending on how neat you want it and how neat you want to be. This was the drain hole that the floor had, and I just kind of basically go around it, put it on, make sure that everything is glued down, and then you do your wheel. Once you have it all down and you like it, you take your little knife like this. You can pick these up just about anywhere. You take it and you basically, it's not hard to cut. You just, take it on the edge. To make sure that it's not shorter than what you want it. And then take your little tool and make sure everything is down really nice. And the folks at Design Engineering, they're really good as to how much you may need for your car. So see, there you have it. Like this piece that I cut out, you can also use these pieces. There's no sense in throwing them away. As you can see, I have a piece here because this was straight, and you see how the floor has all these contours. You obviously, this piece is, so I have another piece in here that I'm going to cut that out of it, but you basically kind of lay it on there, see what you need. And as you can see, this piece can actually kind of go right here. So I'm going to cut me one whole piece out of this one, to go from front to here, and then I'll do this piece later. So as you can see, that it goes on pretty easy. It looks great. And then obviously everything else goes on top of it. This is a 2mm. Remember, they also have the 4mm. And this is great for many things, right, Joel?
Sure is.
For rattles, for the stereo sound, which Joel is an expert at that. What else, Joel?
You can keep your heating down and keep your car cool.
Your AC and heat.
Control your heat and stuff as far as that goes. You can keep one or the other in or out. So if you want your AC to stay in, it'll keep it in, or if you want the heat to stay out, or to keep the heat out.
That's right. So it helps with your AC in the summertime and your heat in the wintertime. The stereo sound is going to sound nice and solid. It's going to keep it from rattling. What else, Joel? Many things.
No, it's numerous things it can help you with. But I mean, I think overall it keeps your car tight and sealed, and that's probably the best thing.
You'll notice when like on this one on this car, I put as much as I could in every square inch of the door, which is behind here. So, and when you do that, you'll notice the difference of when the door shuts compared to if it didn't have it in there. So having that in there, it's like 100% difference, right, Joel?
Oh yeah.
So it helps you with the rattles, the stereo, the heat, the AC, just everything in general. So you're not gonna. It's something that the car should have had probably when they came out of the factory. Every car, but if you notice, if you ever taken a car apart, it's got the spray on, and at that it doesn't even have it in all the areas. It's just kind of here and there. It's heavy on one end and real light on the other. So, the folks at Design Engineering, they're really good about helping you to lead you to exactly what you need. The amount that you need for your car. Like I said, this is a big car, so it takes a lot. For this particular car, the way I did it, it took about 2.5 boxes, a little under 2.5 boxes of the bigger boxes. So, but they'll help you out. So reach out to them. This is something that probably every car should have. So reach out to the guys at Design Engineering, and you know, get some for your car, because like I said, you'll notice a big difference. So that's what we wanted to show you. Joel and I wanted to show you today, because I had a few calls on what we use. Well, this is what we use. It's called, don't forget, it's called Boom Mat. And the other thing, this is the information that you can get on boommat.com. So the other thing that I was going to tell you was that you know, when I learned about this product, is that I checked around to see who was using it. So you'd be surprised. There's some really big well-known shops out there that are using the same kind. So I thought, like, well, if they use it, you know, and they're who they are, so I'm just a little squirrel over here in the woods, you know, it's good enough for me. So so check them out. Go to their site and check them out. And if you guys need any more help on this stuff right here, whatever, feel free to DM me, send me a message. I'll be glad to help you.